page and see if they look and sound like awesome dudes.
I mean, always, but
You're absolutely right. Never have we ever not been the most awesome, cool dudes. I'm back in a second here. Let me get that running. 1 minute.
what's up, Joe?
What's up?
Just wandering around checking out this village.
Yeah. Is the game everything you hoped and dreamed it would be?
I don't know. It's okay. I think it's aesthetically really,
See,
really,
that wasn't so
really
bad,
good.
was it?
I feel like you were pretty hype about this, so you know.
Mirror, Eric.
I'm gonna change the name of the stream because this is not Wrestling Mania, and we are not playing Virtual Pro Wrestling 2.
I mean, you haven't really seen what this game is about, Joe. So
That's true.
Hold up there.
This is a role-playing game. You role-play as a wrestler with a cape and a luchador mask.
I mean, most wrestlers have capes, don't they?
You go to different areas, suplexing bosses and killing frogmen.
It's actually a sequel to Final Fantasy
Sold.
3.
Nice,
Find a
except
boss
you
and
just
suplex
everything.
Yeah, basically. I think this game is pretty swell.
Yeah, I like it quite a bit. I like it aesthetically. The music and the art and all that stuff is. I don't know that I've been into a game's aesthetic as much as Hyper Light Drifters since probably Hotline Miami came out.
I was gonna say I get major Fez vibes playing this game.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, it's
obviously the soundtrack's by the same guy.
Yeah.
But visually, I find it's kind of reminiscent, and they both have this real kind of lonely sense to them too. I don't know. I find it very similar, even though the gameplay is completely different between them.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's like Hotline Miami. I'm just saying that it has been probably that long since
Yeah.
just the art and the music in a game have combined in a way that I find as pleasant as this game.
Is the music as good as Hotline Miami?
It's
I have the
very
stream
different.
music, so.
This is like more like ambient,
Total
like
ambience, yeah.
Vangelis
Oh, nice. I love Angelus.
kind of stuff. But it's like I really like the way that it's kind of dynamic from screen to screen. So like you'll go into one place and it'll be this really like slow, like subtle kind of quiet ambient piece, and then you'll go to the next screen and then they'll layer like a melody underneath that. And like as you're exploring different places, they'll like change out bits and pieces of the song to emphasize different things. So if you're in like a combat area, it'll kick up in intensity a little bit, or the tempo will go up. And if you're in a safer place, it'll be a little bit more quiet and excuse me.
Okay,
But yeah, it's just like it does a really good job of like, remember what was the music thing that they had in the old LucasArts adventure games?
I was actually
I mean, the Amuse system.
Right.
Yeah,
It kind of feels like that is like what that was supposed to be.
It's a lot more subtle.
Oh yeah, the music in this game is very, very subtle, but
Not nearly as melodic as the Fez stuff.
Imuse, when done correctly, is pretty subtle, but a lot of platforms don't emulate it correctly.
I
Like,
mean,
I
I
know
played
some of the
Monkey
re-release-
Island
like,
on my PC back when it was the platform to play it on, and then it's just that it was pretty obvious because you go from place to place and you're like, oh, now they've added this instrument. Whereas it's much more gradual fading up and fading down in Hyper Light Drifter. In that I usually don't even notice it's happening.
I really like, you don't really notice it at first, but then all of a sudden you'll pick up on, like I said, like a new melody will be buried underneath some of the more ambient synth kind of droning stuff that's going on there. Sometimes they really turn it up and it sort of like clips out and it's all like wavery and shimmery and stuff. There's just some really great sounds, and that goes great with the just the overall the art style and everything in this game is really fantastic too.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I really like the look of it, and I feel what Mike is saying when he compares it to Fez. Now, Mike said in the email thread that, because I feel like when the Kickstarter happened, there was a lot of like, it's an RPG, and I was sort of like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna take a wait and see on this one. And then Mike said he felt like it was like Link to the Past, but with more interesting combat and less puzzle solving. But then Eric, you responded to him and said you disagreed with that. So,
Well, I disagree that the combat is. Mike said that the combat was better than Link to the Past, and I don't know that. I feel like the combat in this game is fun, but I feel like the encounter design is pretty poor, if that makes sense. So like the combat, it actually like this game does borrow some things from the Dark Souls series, or like
a few things.
There's kind of a stamina bar. Like you can, when you first start, you can only do one little sprint. Like you have like a dodge move.
Like Secret of Mana.
Well,
it's not really a dodge in Secret of Mana.
Well, right.
No, but there is a stamina bar in Secret of Mana. It is kind of, but it's not as obvious as Secret of Mana. So like when you start the game, you can do one dodge, and you can do like a 3-hit combo with your sword. And as you play through the game, you get these little pips that you can use to turn into currency that you can buy upgrades. So I bought an upgrade that lets me dodge 3 consecutive times. And you can actually do it more if you like time your button presses properly, but I find that kind of hard to do.
In the middle of a fight, it's tricky and usually not necessary to dodge 15 times in a row.
It also,
like,
I really
you can just button mash and get 3.
Yeah, for the most part, that's sufficient. I found that it's very it can be frustrating. The dodge can be frustrating, especially when you first start playing this game, because it looks like you should have some invincibility frames when you're in the middle of your dodge, because it kind of looks like you're teleporting from spot to spot, but you're not.
Yeah,
so you
can
like so
you will run right into enemies if you try and dodge through them.
Right, you can't dodge through enemy strikes. If there's a projectile coming at you, you can't dodge through it. You have to dodge to the side.
You can get an upgrade that lets you dodge through projectiles.
Right, but even that isn't all the time. You still have to kind of time it properly. But there's an upgrade that lets you shield, and that's quite a few upgrades in.
Okay.
It takes quite a bit to get to that upgrade. So
just a moment ago, you were sort of like hugging the walls as if you were looking for something.
Right.
Like when I get frustrated in a Resident Evil game and start just mashing X while I run along the wall because I know I'm missing something. Why are you doing that?
Because there's all kinds of shit hidden in invisible passageways. That's the other sort of frustrating thing for me about the combat encounter design. So the combat is pretty good. So you have to like manage your stamina or whatever. You have to be aware of your surroundings.
I don't know why you keep saying that, because you don't need to manage your stamina at all.
Because you can lock yourself into an animation and take a hit when you don't want to get hit. So you can't just dodge through everything and like dance around and hit dudes. You have to be pretty deliberate with your strikes. You have to time things properly, and it can be very frustrating because a lot of times the combat arenas, so like it can be really hard to tell what you're going to get caught on and what you're not going to get caught on in the environments. So like you guys probably can't see it yet, but 30 seconds from now, there's like this little rubble on the side of these stairs. And it's like you don't know if you can dodge through that or if you can walk past it or not until you try it. And some of the combat encounters, they just like throw like 30 dudes at you at a time. And so there'd be like 5 little dudes chasing after you and like 2 big dudes with guns shooting at you. And some frogs wearing sombreros throwing shurikens at you or whatever. And it's just like this like diarrhea style of combat design that's not that much fun. Or at least I don't think it's that much fun.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem with bumping into stuff on the ground a lot. It's true that it's really hard because sometimes you're just overwhelmed with stuff going on, and it's really harsh in the amount of damage that you take. Like, you've got 5 dots of health right now, I think, and I've played for 5 hours so far, and I've still got 5 dots of health, and enemy attacks will take off 1 or 2 dots, you know, every single time. There is no such thing as like a half square of health in this game. And you can heal yourself in the middle of the battles, and that's, I think, one of the elements that reminds you the most of Dark Souls is, you know, dashing around and trying to find a safe opportunity to use your Estus flask.
It's like a health pack in this game. You get like Mike said, you have 5 pips of health, and then when you can carry up to 3 like med packs at a time, and those are sort of scattered throughout the environment. So like during a combat scenario, which generally speaking, when you're in a combat, it locks you into a single screen.
Not all the time, but
not all the time, but
frequently.
Yeah.
Like
you get locked in the monster closet and you have to fight your way out. But
a sick ass sword pose because you're really cool.
Yeah, and for the most part, it's pretty. Every time you load into a new screen, like that's a checkpoint. So it's not. It can be, some of the battles can be frustrating, but it's pretty forgiving as far as not making you go backwards a lot and not making you replay the same scenarios over and over and over again.
It can be frustrating because the enemies are tough and you will die a whole bunch on some screens, and the screens, like, I really do feel like Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past sometimes, because you're on a screen, but it's a huge sprawling screen that kind of goes, you know, like it's maybe 8 screen widths wide and that many tall too. So sometimes a single screen can have 30 different enemies on it, and it can take you a while to clear it out. And if you die, you know, on the 29th enemy out of 30,
right,
that's kind of annoying. But yeah, it's not too harsh because you're always, you know, you're always one room away from where you died. I did get into a death loop in the north, which was really fucking obnoxious. Where, well, yeah, if you're watching the stream where I am, you just saw Eric get killed by some birds.
Yeah, I haven't been here before, so I don't really know any of these enemy patterns or anything.
Yeah, when you die, you kind of, you know, you go back to the checkpoint and you slowly get up off the ground. But it kept putting me back into a checkpoint that was surrounded by 3 enemies, and they could hit me as I was getting up. And so I just died like 15 times in a row, and eventually I was able to kind of dash out of there. So that was pretty obnoxious. Even quitting the game and reloading it still put me back at that spot. So I could imagine if you were really unlucky getting into one of those, then just never being able to get out. So, but you know, that's kind of the risk you take with any video game that you play the first week it comes out these days, which is kind of shitty, but at least you can kind of forgive these guys for being a small team.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the combat it's fine. I just, like I said, it's not that I have a problem with the combat itself necessarily. I feel like the way this plays makes it feel like it would be more satisfying to have a fewer number of encounters with like bigger, stronger enemies. Those are the encounters that I tend to enjoy more.
I don't know. I have a lot of fun with this system. I think when you're being swamped by little enemies, I think maybe you're just not making enough use of your guns, because that's a good way of taking down numbers from a distance, you know?
Right. Yeah, but I mean, and I'm like, we haven't played through the same areas either, so it could be dependent on that. I played through quite a bit of the mountain area, and I haven't been as frustrated, but the area, the swampy canal area with the bunny people that had been destroyed by the toad men, there was some really, really awful kill boxes in there that were really, really small arenas with tons and tons of enemies. That was not fun.
Yeah, I haven't finished that part. Is it mostly the plant monsters that are difficult there? Or?
For me, there's a couple of places where they just throw like 40 toad dudes at you all at the same time.
The shuriken guys.
Yeah.
I will say, by the way, you just pop down into like a little dark cave area. If I remember correctly, and maybe I don't, there's a dark cave area in the mountain that sucks ass. And when you have finished that, we will complain about it together, because it's bullshit.
Yeah, I need to go buy some upgrades.
It's the only place that I've been. So what? You got $5?
Yeah, I know.
Holy shit!
I haven't played this since Friday, so.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I really enjoy the combat, and I think it's really fun because the way your gun works is that you have a fixed amount of ammo for each weapon. It depends on what weapon you're using, but you know, it might be 5 shots or 8 shots or 4 shots, and the only way to recharge that is by slashing things with your sword. So it can be, you know, background objects if there are any lying around, or every hit that you land on an enemy will usually recharge your meter. You know, well, for the basic gun, it's 1 shot. It might take more than 1 slash for some of the fancier guns.
Yeah, I just have a shotgun and a pistol right now, but
See, I don't have the shotgun yet. I have a couple of other guns.
I think you get the shotgun in the canal area.
I upgraded the ammo capacity on the pistol, so I'm still finding it really useful just to have.
Yeah.
You get eight or nine shots, I think, once you upgrade
Yeah,
it.
the pistol's okay. The shotgun is just really nice because
You don't have to
within
aim so well.
within a certain range, it just kind of kills everything. Like even some of the bigger, more powerful enemies, it'll take down in 1 or 2 hits. There's like some big nasty crystal enemies that you fight in the mountain area, and one shotgun shell takes them down to like 1 health if you're close enough. So there's this whole upgrade system. There's like moves, and you can upgrade your sword. You can upgrade. Yeah, I don't know.
Just an aside, have you figured out what's up with that blinking bird man?
Blinking bird man.
Yeah, there's one of those guys who walks around
know.
the town as this bird man who just blinks out of existence.
I have no
sometimes.
idea. I don't really know what's going on. There's no text in this game.
Yeah,
There's no text at all.
basically none.
There's
Like,
some in the tutorial area, I think, but that's about it.
There are a few lines to tell you what the buttons do, and that's it. Every time you talk to an NPC, it just gives you kind of like storyboards.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you see him shopping for upgrades here, like, they show you what they do, but there's a little bit of guesswork involved sometimes. And actually, one thing that frustrates me is that the button that you use to talk to people is the Y button, but that button also lets you buy stuff, and so it's twice now I've accidentally bought the first item on the menu because I was just pressing the button to talk to the dude. And shit is expensive in this game. Like, you got very little money. The good news is that one of those times I bought the chain dash by mistake, and that is by far the most important upgrade in the game.
Yeah, you want that real bad, so.
I cannot imagine beating either of the bosses that I fought so far without it.
Yeah. There, I upgraded my shotgun.
Nice. So that guy at the gun shop features, I think it's him who's in a story told by one of the other characters, which implies that he's a pretty shady dude.
So Eric, are you Tatanka in this game?
Buffalo?
Yes.
I don't think so. Why?
You look like some kind of bison or yak man or is it supposed to be a mask? I can't tell. It looks like everybody's an animal.
I think I'm a
person.
robot.
Your guy looks okay.
Think you're a robot?
I think I'm a robot. That's my guess.
Bleed a lot for a robot.
What's that?
You do bleed a lot for a robot.
You bleed
It's
a lot for a robot.
like transmission fluid.
Maybe. It's not very clear. The story is pretty abstract. Something ruined world. Something scary black monsters that you see sometimes.
That guy lets you carry more health
Cough.
kits.
You know, I bought that one by mistake too. I don't think it's a real deal world changer. I'm more interested in getting like different abilities.
I think I'm gonna get this sword upgrade. Why not? I don't
What is that?
really know what upgrades are like the awesomest. This one looks pretty cool. There's one that lets you deflect projectiles, which seems pretty neat.
I think I recently got the one that lets you dash through projectiles because I figure I'm always dashing anyway, so I might as well have an extra layer of protection while that's happening.
Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of want to. Did you buy the grenade?
I got one grenade, yeah. I have only used it one time so far.
The grenade's pretty cool.
I didn't realize that it just recharges over time, I guess.
Yeah. It just recharges over time. But
Yeah, they don't tell you anything.
But yeah, generally speaking, I like this. I don't know why I kind of fell off. I think I don't think that the world design is like like whatever. Like Zelda has very deliberate combat that's very simple compared to this.
And also
and that
has a
game's
very intricate, well-designed world.
Super easy. And I feel like there are individual areas in this game that I feel are very well designed, but I don't know that the world is so great. I don't really like Joe was talking about earlier where I was like doing the Resident Evil slide, like walking against walls and things, because there's so many hidden paths. You kind of have to do that at all times.
And it's Metroid like that. It's like your default mode should be poking into every corner.
Right, and it just doesn't. That's like one of my least favorite Super Nintendo tricks.
I'm glad that I'm not the only one who does that in Resident Evil when I can't figure out what they're supposed to do next.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like again, we talked a couple weeks ago about how I was playing Super Metroid, And I played a little bit more of it, and I mean, I still like it, but that thing where you gotta bomb every inch of the floor when you don't know what to do next is really fucking annoying. And I feel like that's sort of the same thing, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, at least you don't have to bomb everything in this. You know, there's no action. You're just kind of like pushing up against all the walls and stuff. But I wish that there was a little bit more indication that, like yo, this is a tree you can walk behind, or yo, this isn't a tree you can walk behind. And it doesn't help.
Upgrade for your little robot dude that will help you with that.
Maybe.
The little robot dude is not doing a lot for me right now.
No, he just sort of tells you when there's a mechanism that you can interact with.
Yeah.
He like flies over
press
to
Y
it.
on it, he'll fly over to it.
Yeah.
He's like the little gremlin from Symphony of the Night. Flies over and a switch.
Oh wow, yeah, that charge up sword move's pretty cool. I just decapitated that goblin.
Nice. Look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, but what else? So I can't remember what else I was gonna say.
I don't know. I think I'm higher on this game than you are.
I think you are
like
too.
It has some frustrating elements.
Oh, this map is bullshit. That's the other thing. Is that for a game with a lot of secret areas, the map is really shitty and hard to read, and it makes it. If the map was better, or just like so, when you go into the map, like the map itself,
like a suggestion of the level.
Isn't that bad? Like it kind of tells you where everything is. And occasionally when you're exploring a dungeon area, you find an NPC and they'll like mark stuff on your map that'll show you where. So like as far as I can tell, your main goal is to collect these like they're just like diamond shapes, right?
Like power diamonds or something like that. They seem to they light up the mandala in the village center. Yeah, I collected 4 of them in the first area, and it looks like there's 5 in the mountain.
I think we should call them Neil diamonds.
Okay, you have to get the Neils, and and
you get 1 bop for every one you get.
You can use they power up some kind of mechanism in the middle of the village, and they also open up doors in the dungeon areas. There's also there's some other weird things, like there's some like weird obelisks that give you information that it lights up some text or something, but I don't really know what those do yet. I've just found a bunch of them. And there's
one of those here. It just tells you about George Washington though.
Yeah, maybe that's what these say. It's just in a language that's incomprehensible to me.
Okay. Yeah,
and then there's also like these dudes that have these keys. So like the store I'm looking at right now, you need 2, 4, what's that? 8, 10 keys. I found 2 so far.
I've only found 1 key.
So I don't know what that's all about either. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm not really sure. What I don't know what a lot of the stuff does in it. That's what reminds me of Dark Souls. Is that a lot of a lot of this stuff is very
about Dark Souls?
Yeah, I'm fine with that here too. Like figuring out what that stuff does is part of the appeal. But I wish the map was better. If the map was better and sort of gave you a better indication of where you were, like finding those secret areas wouldn't be so annoying.
Yeah, but the world isn't that big.
I guess.
I mean, I have a few spots that I see on the map, and like I wish I could get there and figure it out, and I haven't found them so far. But there are not so many screens in each area that I can't really keep track of them all. I don't know. I think it helps that they look so different for the most part. Like when you're exploring in Metroid, a lot of those hallways look really similar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that. It's like you look at the map and you don't even know if the thing that you're looking at is a thing that you can get to or not. You know?
There's a whole bunch of creepy dead giants in this game.
Yeah. Okay. The art in this game is fantastic. Like I said, I think this game is really good. I'm definitely like the first like hour and a half I played it, I said on Twitter that I'm gonna be really sad when this is over, because I'm, when there's no more new art to look at and no more new music to hear, that's gonna be a real sad thing. But I don't know that I'm gonna miss. I don't know that I'm gonna miss the exploration of the combat all that much.
There's some dead people in that house over there.
Yeah.
It is a pretty
So you
experiential
said
game.
there's no story that tells you like what happened where there's all these dead giants and dead people
No.
in houses.
So,
all
like,
that
In the
in-
stuff.
intro, you see a giant explosion, kind of Neo Tokyo looking thing happen to a city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your dude
Um,
is like coughing up like strings of black, like tar evil that's attacking him, and
Like his shadows turn into black, stringy, evil stuff that kind of clutches at him.
yeah, very like Samurai Jack looking
And you
things.
see a bunch of these evil giants, and then like the camera kind of shakes, and then you see them all dying and decomposing.
Right.
It seems like it was. I mean, we're getting into light story spoilers, and I say light because I don't really understand the story. But like one of the guys that I ran into tells you a little story, and again, the stories are just pictures.
Yeah, there's that obelisk.
About like how he and his friend were firing guns at these giants, and like he survived, but his friend got killed, and I think you can find like the hand of the giant. Oh, there's one of those obelisk thingies.
Yep. But like, see, like that path kind of makes sense. That hidden area, like, because visually you can see the break in the stones, but in some of them, there is kind of like no visual cue. You just kind of find it by pushing up
Gotta
against
check.
the wall. Oh, hey, check this guy
Speaking
out.
of that, in Super Metroid, Joe, I don't know if you've gotten this far, but there is an item that will help you find secret passages.
That's good. The last time I played, I was fighting Kraid, and I got killed, and I saved. Like I had quick saved, like right near Kraid, and that's where I am.
That's pretty early.
But I don't know if I sequence broke or not, because I had to like do some weird tricky bomb jumping shit to get to where I got to. So I don't know if I'm supposed
Are
to
you
even
talking
be
about the
fighting
part
Kraid yet.
where you jump up into the kind of giant bug mouth, and then you go right, and that takes you
Yes.
towards where Kraid is?
Yep.
That's a very minor sequence break. Did you get the high jump?
Nope.
Okay, well, you're supposed to get the high jump and then make that jump, but it's not a huge deal to do that, but you might find Kraid pretty tough if you don't have the high jump.
Oh no, it's Mystery Dog.
I love Mystery Dog. They're my favorite '70s rock band.
There's some kind of weird Doberman Pinscher looking dog that.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
A diamond on its head.
Yeah, and then that Proto Man looking person. just
Yeah,
wrecked
he
a
told
bunch
me
of
where
folks.
he put on the map where all the diamonds were and where the boss is. Apparently,
The
I
Neils.
missed one.
All the
yes.
nails, yeah.
I believe that you got to get up to get down.
Oh, to get that lower one. I thought maybe I missed it where that bird man was. I'm only kind of half.
I believe that with the lower one, maybe in the bullshit cave actually, and you won't be able to go there until later. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. This game makes my head feel fuzzy when I play it.
Yeah, I have found that playing it for more. I think it's the music. Like, it makes me intensely lonely and uncomfortable, and like after an hour, I kind of need to step away from it for a little bit.
I felt that way too until I got to the canal area where I thought it was bright and cheery enough up top that I was kind of.
Yeah,
willing
but
to go
man,
for
those
breakfast.
toads are killing those rabbit people, man. They have them strung
I don't
up in
think
the
I've seen
trees,
anything
and
Yeah, I haven't seen that really harsh stuff yet.
yeah, it gets real. It gets real
Spoilers.
intense. I mean, it's all environmental storytelling. It's just like you just see like there's these toad guys running around throwing shurikens at you, and then there's a bunch of rabbit men, like piles of corpses and like strung up by their necks and stuff like that. Laying all
A lot
over
of
the
dead
place.
bodies in this game, although most of them look like they've been there for a long time.
Whoa! Check out this laser bird.
Laserbird, my favorite 70s rock album. Knight is here. He says, I like
Mystery
Samurai
dogs.
Viking, bro. I guess you do look kind of like a Samurai Viking. These guys are pretty brutal, by the way. I don't know if you've fought these guys before, but
No, I don't think
you
so.
do not want to be in the way of that blast. Man, that decapitation is pretty sick.
It's kind of hard to use because you can't really move while you're charging it
I
up.
say these are probably not the right guys to use it on for the most part.
Yeah, I just got
They
wrecked.
look like they're the right guys to use that shotgun on, though.
Yeah, every guy, as far as I
Birds.
can tell, every guy is the right guy to use the shotgun on.
If you gotta use a shotgun on something, a bird is a pretty good choice.
If you had more ammo, you would not use. There's nothing else. You wouldn't use any other gun in this game because the shotgun is that like fucking good.
I look forward to getting it. Yeah, I've got like a high-powered long-range rifle with a laser sight.
Like a sniper rifle kind of thing?
I've got kind of like an explodey gun, which is it's so powerful when you fire it.
That's the technical term, of course.
Yeah, it's so powerful when you fire it that it knocks you backwards. And the first time I fired it, it knocked me off a cliff and I died, I think.
Good job.
I mean, maybe I
like
didn't die. I don't remember. But that one hasn't got a lot of play.
There's... Well, I'll wait till you get there, but there was a secret in the marshy area that it looked like I found some guy that was in jail, but I couldn't figure out how to get to him.
I don't know if I got that. I found a couple secrets in that area.
I'll be interested to see if you stumble upon it, and maybe because I didn't have the chain dash, but it just didn't seem like I could dash far enough to get to him. And he was kind of like half off the screen, so I could just see him if I like accidentally. I was like dashing around some platforms, and I accidentally dashed off the right instead of going south, and I could see that there was a thing on that side, and it looked like there was a guy locked up behind a door, but I couldn't figure out how to get over there.
I'll poke around for it. Did you find the alternate costume?
No.
There's some different colored clothes you can get in that area. There's a whole bunch of different suits you can get of different colored clothes, and apparently they give you like passive bonuses.
Oh really? Does it tell you what any of that stuff is anywhere? Or?
It doesn't tell you, but they're there. People, internet sleuthing. Apparently, the set that I found reduces grenade charging time.
That's pretty good. I haven't actually used a grenade, but I think it's a pretty useful item.
If you're trading something for that though, like. You know what I mean?
Not
like,
trading
are you losing...
anything for it at first because your first set of clothes doesn't give you any bonuses.
Right, but I'm saying it doesn't give you a bonus at the cost of a nerf on some other stat.
Oh,
no, it's a straight upgrade.
Okay. Nick also chimed back in and said he's also looking for the laser sight rifle.
You got it. You get.
Oh, you got it.
Decent. It's decent, but it's slow and like I kind of like the pea shooter just for being able to spread a whole bunch of bullets and not think too hard about it. It's also been useful against some of the bosses because with 8 or 9 shots in the clip, you can actually do a lot of damage to a boss from a distance.
Yeah, but this shotgun does a lot of it's a lot of damage in one shot.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily want to be close to some of these guys.
I guess.
Although it was pretty sick the way you just smoked that bird wizard with one shot.
Get down here. Come here, you coward.
I'm not saying I wouldn't use the shotgun if I had it. I probably would have it equipped on my guy at all times.
So is it one button for melee, one button for a gun?
Yep.
Type of
Yeah.
thing?
X to melee.
X for melee. Right
B
trigger to shoot.
Yeah.
You can press left trigger if you want to lock your aim, like if you want to lock your guy and aim in a precise direction. Otherwise, you can just kind of shoot in the direction you're moving.
I thought I killed everybody.
There were more bodies to kill.
I like how it turns into a Virtual Boy game when you die.
Nobody likes the Virtual Boy.
Exactly.
So the thing with the clothes is that there are actually 3 pieces in the clothing set. There's your sword, your cape, and your little robot dude. And when you pick up a set, you get all 3 of them. But apparently, you can mix and match up to 3 different bonuses at a time. And it doesn't. You don't need to have like all 3 equipped. It doesn't get stronger if you have more than one from the same set equipped. So you can have 3 different bonuses, but you will never look like the default dude.
I saw that
Which is pretty good.
if you do that chain dash thing in the store, you can unlock those doors. But I haven't been able to do it enough times to actually pull that off.
I have not managed to unlock anything. I got an achievement for doing, I think, maybe 50. 25 or 50, whatever the first achievement is, and then I lost my combo. It's hard to keep that going when you're zipping around really fast.
Yeah, I haven't got the rhythm down enough to do it consistently. I found another warp. Actually, one of the things that I do really like about this game is that you can warp to these big warp pads at any time.
Yeah, any of the 5 major warp pads in the game, you can just decide to go there. The only thing is it takes a little bit of time, so if you're in the middle of combat, you're just gonna get smoked if you try to teleport. But definitely, like, I don't know what you've seen from this watching, Joe, but you have to be into the combat. Otherwise, I don't think there's enough else here for you.
I don't love the combat, but I could just, even if there was no combat, I think I would still have fun just wandering and looking at the cool stuff. And
But you don't have the option to not do the combat.
yeah,
I guess is what I'm saying.
the combat, it's good. It's fine. I just, like I said, I think, like I said, some of the scenario design is a little bit weak, but like I said, it doesn't feel as sculpted as a game like Zelda was. Which, I mean, whatever. That's one of the greatest games of all time. So, that's not really a fair comparison for anything. But I do wish that like that fight I just did with all those birds, right? There's just like, here's 50 dudes and we're just kind of gonna throw them all at you at the same time, and it doesn't necessarily feel good to fight them like that.
I don't know. I've enjoyed it sometimes.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I like that kind of 2D actiony thing. So I think I think I already put it on my wish list on Steam. So whenever it goes on sale, I get a notification.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah, you should definitely pick it. It's really good. I think that you'll like it. I think that you'll, like I said, if you were into the music and the aesthetic of it, the combat is good enough. But it's just I just don't like the design of we're gonna lock you in this room and make you fight 30 dudes. I kind of just would appreciate it more if it was just just a map screen and then you just kind of wandered around and kind of walked into battles. But it would be tough because your dude is a much more efficient fighter than Link is. To go back to the Zelda comparison, like
you're also really fast. Like with
yeah,
the chain dash, you can just blaze across the map and never fight anybody.
Right. Link is kind of a chump, and that's part of the tactical part of those Zelda games is putting yourself in the right position to get strikes and stuff.
2D Link is kind of a chump. 3D Link is like, he's like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
What's
He
this?
drinks a lot of poison. So that
Found a third key.
Yes, he develops an immunity to iocane powder, and also he's not really left-handed. Mike is the trick. It turns out that if Link was to fight with his right hand, he'd be even more badass.
I'm gonna have to go back to that place and find that key.
Did you miss that one?
I think so. I tend to not linger when there's smashy things trying to smush me into paste.
Whoa. See, that was a cool secret. Oh.
Yeah, I meant to ask you, Eric, did you play the new game from Ace Team?
Which
I don't know what we're talking about here.
You talking about
Like
the
2 months ago,
2D one that came out last year, or?
Not Abyss Odyssey?
No, it's
Oof, these guys are fucking brutal.
it's
See,
like
this
a
is the
weird-
kind of kill box I'm talking about. You see this room I'm in now? Like, I'm locked in here, and there's like 8 of those guys that shoot lasers, and there's 2 of those flying bird guys, and it's just like, I just don't think this is a very fun way to engage with the combat in this game. Whereas when I came out of that teleporter, there was like 3 birds, and I had to fight them, and I could kind of stick and move and dodge a little bit, and like I enjoyed that encounter, but the encounter with the 15 guys at once just isn't very fun, I don't think.
In some cases, if you move fast enough, you can thin them out before they build up to being that many.
Yeah. And it's not even that it's like necessarily that difficult to deal with. It just
Clearly, you're not loving it.
yeah. I just don't think that. I'll go through here again. Actually, I have to get that key.
The game that I'm talking about is called Deadly Tower of Monsters. It's like in the style of
I saw the
cheesy
trailer
50s.
for that.
Yeah, it's in the style of a cheesy 50s.
Oh,
sci-fi
okay.
movie.
Yes, I watched the Giant Bomb did a quick look of that, and I watched it. It looked okay.
Yeah, it looks okay. I like Ace Team a lot, so I mean, I really like Xenoclash, and I really like cheesy 50s monster movies. So
Is it
it's
just a
one that I've
top-down
sort of been on
shooter,
the
or-
fence. Yeah, it's top-down shooter thing.
Um,
It's got 4-player co-op, so
I know there was. Last time I was in
Kind
here,
of farther to the left.
is that why I'm not hitting the thing? There it is. Okay. I just wasted all that life.
I do want to confirm. I do agree with Eric that the reason you play this game is because it's beautiful and sounds amazing, and I just happen to enjoy the combat enough that I'm having a good time with it. But like, yeah, I mean, even if I wasn't loving the combat, I would probably play it just to experience the different, places and just see shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's not even like, it's not that the combat is bad. Like, well, again, I've already said it, but it's just I feel like you're put in like these sorts of rooms feel more like the combat is designed for a game where you do have invincibility frames. It's just for some reason I can't. I keep getting caught up on that. Like I feel like I should, when I'm dodging, I shouldn't be able to get hit, and then I get hit, and it's just like
I don't think I really agree with you. I think it's more about positioning and learning how to keep your distance when you need to.
Right.
But it's tough. I don't know. It does make you kind of think, like, is there any chance that they would make a sequel to this game? Because there's some pretty solid mechanics that they could build on if they wanted to, and I do see room for them to improve the encounter design.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. What this? There's a lot more to this game than I thought there was going to be. But I guess that's the advantage of. Oh, that's a crushed body up there. I guess that's the advantage to the amount of. Whoa, shit. Awesome. I didn't see that coming. To the amount of time and all the extra, because they were only asking for like $25,000 or something when this went to Kickstarter, and they got like $250,000 or something like that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Did you? I forgot. Did you actually back this one?
Nope.
Or
I backed it. I backed it on the strength of the
backed
trailer,
it, okay.
basically.
I think the only thing I ever actually tried to back
was that one, the black glove or whatever, right?
Right, and that didn't make
That
it.
didn't
So
get funded. Which was a fucking shame, because I tried to back it too, and that was a shame, because that game looked really great, I thought. 25,000 backers pledged $645,000.
600,000
to Hyperlight.
But I don't like. They weren't even asking for like 100,000. I don't think. Oh shit.
So, but this is one of those Kickstarter success stories where they actually seem to have taken that money and done good stuff with it, as opposed to like wasting it all on business overhead and then under delivering on the game.
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like
asked for
most of the
$27,000.
Kickstarters have kind of come through for the most part.
Well,
I think
Mighty
in
Number
both
9
countries.
got delayed again.
Yeah.
Really? This week?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, is it so you can add more shitty voice acting to it?
I don't even know, dude. And I played when they released the demo for backers, I played it and I was like, this is not very. It's kind of like shitty Mega Man. Like, it's not very good.
What
The
if Mega
demo,
Man
at
was
least.
slow.
What if Mega Man was slow and there was a weird gimmick with like?
You have to
I
dash
don't
through every
remember.
enemy in the game.
Yeah, right. You have to dash into stuff. That was it. Yeah, it's. I mean, whatever. It's $15, so like, I guess like I'm out $15. Big, I've paid more for less. Let's put it that way.
The saga of Mighty Number 9 has been worth your money.
Regardless of how Mighty Number 9 plays, that game is ugly as fuck.
There's nothing about it that looks good to me.
And they just released a motion test of Bloodstained, and it looks pretty good.
It's all right.
Oh, that's the.
I wouldn't say great. Like the animations
it's
are a little rudimentary for now, but
right. But it's also very early, and like the environment is just like a blank white room that she's walking around in. So.
yeah. There's potential. We'll see. I mean, it's kind of weird that what's his name, Mega Man guy, seems to not be really nailing it this time, because he's made a lot of games, and even the crappy Mega Man games are still decent.
Yeah, that game is so fucking ungodly ugly.
It's really ugly.
If this game is the optimal aesthetic for me, both visually and aurally, fucking that game is the inverse of that. That is the opposite.
Yeah.
That game is just absolutely repugnant. Without the only thing that could make it worse is if it was like booby bouncing game. Crappy cheesecake.
There's probably gonna be
lowest
alternate
common
character
denominator
guides in there,
pandering
so
stuff.
you
So
might get some of that too.
all right.
You never
Yeah, see,
know.
the shotgun like trivializes a lot of the bigger guys in a way that I don't really like either. I almost don't want to use it sometimes because like those big dudes seem like they would be fun to fight, but it only takes me 2 shots to take them out. So
Yeah. So I mean, I don't
Whoa.
know. Around that,
I didn't see that coming.
I did.
Find out
I
in
did
20
back.
seconds what it was.
Right. I did back the New River City Ransom, which was around the same time as Hyperlight Drifter ran their campaign, and
Have you
that
heard
looks.
anything?
Yeah, they've been updating pretty regularly. It's supposed to be out in like a month or so, and it looks really good. It looks the animations look
were
really
pretty
smooth.
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's that. Are you talking about the one that's a sequel?
I'm talking
Whoa,
about the
shit!
sequel, yeah, where they're
There's
like
also like a
40-year-old
remake
Alex
of Red Dead
Ryan.
City Ransom coming too, isn't there?
that's coming to 3DS and there's no US release.
But that looks pretty
announced
sweet
yet.
also.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Well, you just chopped that huge monster in half.
Yeah, that's why I went low, because that charge up move's pretty badass.
Nice work when you can get it.
Mm.
Yeah, the problem is that money is so scarce in this game that you can't just buy everything as it comes up.
Yeah, I'm kind of regretting
that's good
buying
and
that
bad, right?
sword
But it
move.
just means that like depending on since I don't really have any idea what's going to be useful ahead of time, and since the game autosaves everything you do all the time, there's no like testing it out for a while and saying, is this what I want to spend my cash on?
So speaking of autosaving all the time, a guy I work with lost 8 hours of progress in Fallout 4 because his copy of the game glitched out in like one of the last parts where like this elevator is locked and like you have to go into the elevator to go do a thing, and he can't like trigger the next event without it.
Yeah.
And the last time he had manually saved was 8 hours previous.
I
And
thought
you-
that game rotated autosaves.
Apparently not. Apparently not. Apparently the Xbox One version doesn't. Or
You know what
didn't.
might have happened is that if it was stuck and he was trying to figure out the bug, if you played for like an hour or two, maybe he just
It might have
overwrote all of
oversaved
it.
Oh, it's
all
possible.
all the
Yeah.
rotating slots. Yeah. But man, that sucks all the dicks.
But you can't play a game like that without saving manually sometimes. Come on. Come on.
I mean, I tend to agree, although I don't very often play games.
Because the games are buggy as shit.
right.
And I feel
Well,
bad for him, but you shouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, speaking of that, did you guys play the DLC for that? Because I heard there was DLC
For
I haven't
Fallout?
touched Fallout.
I haven't-
Fallout.
Since the original.
I didn't finish
Were you?
Fallout 4. I put like 35 hours into it, and I was like, that's enough of that. I've been here. I've done this before. I felt like
that
that
was-
game, especially in terms of the writing and the faction interactions and stuff, was a pretty big step back from New Vegas. But that's the difference between an Obsidian game and a Bethesda game.
What else did Obsidian make?
Knights of the Old Republic 2?
Yeah, and it's like Obsidian is the
Yeah.
guys that wrote.
Landscape?
Jade Empire, I think, maybe was
No,
that too?
Jade Empire was BioWare, but
That was Black
yeah,
Isle.
Planescape Torment is the biggie, but there's a bunch of other
Oh,
RP.
right.
Fallout 2 actually was them. Was
Really?
Chris Avalon, I think. Chris Avalon and Fergus and those other guys.
But Obsidian, did they go under, or didn't something happen to them? Or was that's a different company that I'm thinking of?
No, Obsidian's still around. Well, Obsidian just put out
Tyranny. Is it the
That's
official,
the new
that's
thing, but they just-
announced that, yeah.
they just put out something recently, Pillars of Eternity last year,
Oh, that
which was
them,
actually
yeah.
really
That was
really
Kickstarter
good.
thing too, wasn't it?
Yes, that was a Kickstarter thing too. And I think, are they doing the new Planescape game, or is that somebody else?
I think that's somebody else.
Okay,
here
so
we
the
go.
guys who did Planescape
Dated
Torment.
Alpha Protocol.
Yes, which is
Yeah,
another game that I
Siege 3,
people should play that game. That game is pretty good.
I own that
Neverwinter
game.
Nights 2.
And the
Yeah.
people who founded Obsidian worked at Black Isle when they did Planescape Torment. That's what
Right.
happened.
Yes.
Right. And okay, so did Black Isle go out of business not
Yes.
that long ago? Okay.
Black Isle went out of business a long time ago. That's Obsidian rose from the ashes of Black Isle, basically.
Okay. I feel like I don't know.
Black Isle was an Interplay
Developers
thing.
go out of. Okay.
And so when
Developers go
Interplay
out of
sort
business
of
so frequently now.
imploded, Black Isle was a casualty of that.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But yeah, like
this
Chris
was-
Avalon just left Obsidian not too long ago. I think that's maybe what you heard.
Oh, maybe
And that's a big deal because he's been like the lead writer on all those things. But what was one of the Neverwinter Nights 2? What the hell was it called? I have it the box right here. Let me look. The Neverwinter Nights 2. No, I can't find the Mask of the Betrayer expansion is like one of the best. That might be the best Dungeons and Dragons based piece of video game content that I've ever played. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, you like it more than
Ooh.
Planescape Torment? Because I feel like that's the thing that people always.
Well, I mean, Planescape Torment
Start
isn't
harp on.
done. I wouldn't consider that Dungeons and Dragons. It's different.
Wasn't Planescape is a D&D setting, isn't it?
It is. It's just nothing like any other D&D setting.
Yeah, it's not dragons and druids
There are a
and
couple dragons.
sorcerers and stuff. Also, that's not a combat-based game. That's much more of a... Oh, come on.
It's almost entirely dialogue.
Yeah.
That's funny. Planescape Torment was cool, but I think there were times that I found it pretty boring.
Yeah,
I think
it
there are
would
a
have
lot of
been...
people who say it's like one of their favorite games of all time. Kind of.
Well, the writing's really interesting. I love the concept behind the world, which is that basically belief creates reality in the world of Planescape Torment.
Right.
That leads to some pretty fucked up stuff happening.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't-
Yeah, that makes sense.
There at the time that game came out, and even when I played it in like 2003 or 4, there had been nothing. There had been no games with writing of that quality.
There
and
have still been very few games with writing
Yeah.
of that quality.
Yeah.
Fair
My
enough.
favorite Planescape story is that not long after I played it, I came down with the flu, and one day I was like half asleep and feverish and delirious, and I started having this really messed up dream. And then I realized that I was like in Planescape, and if I just, chose to focus my mind, I could rewrite reality around me, and it calmed me down, and I started sleeping properly.
It's good to know.
So thanks for that, Black Isle and Obsidian.
And I remember my old roommate, who also played a shitload of Fallout, said that he liked Knights of the Old Republic 2 better than the first one, which...
Some people seem to say that. I haven't played either of those, but I have heard that before.
It's broken, but it's not better than the first one. But if they had finished it, it would have been better than the first one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Got
Yeah.
ambition.
Yeah.
yeah, there's stuff in there that's as good as anything in the first game, but as that game shipped, it was not completed shit. These
So just a
moving
little
block
mild
puzzles
spoiler here, Eric. If you're having fun with this room,
Mhm.
look forward to doing all this in the dark.
This really isn't
I
that
just
bad.
decided I'm not that interested in this game anymore.
It's just one place. It's one total bullshit.
Like, I don't know
area.
why I died there that time.
You got squished between two blocks.
Well, yeah, but I didn't think I was that close to the blocks. I guess I'm having kind of a hard time. Oh, that time I got pushed.
Oh,
Don't stick your neck out,
Yeah, must be just like my nose got tweaked.
You would not be happy if your nose got smushed by a giant robot block.
It's true.
it's true.
If I was playing
Well,
this game in VR, that never would have happened because I would have been able to see it.
We'll have to save that for our next week.
Yeah. I was to say it's just about 11, and Mike has to get up early tomorrow. Actually, I have to get up early tomorrow too. Both of us
God
have to get
damn
up
it.
early tomorrow.
Really sucks.
Yeah. So.
Bite my ass.
I can't do this. I'm too sick.
Can you save whenever you want? Here,
Yeah,
Eric,
if
or
I
do you
turned it
need
off,
to-
I would
Yeah.
start right back here.
Okay.
And they tell you how long it's been since the last autosave.
Yeah!
feature that fucking every game ever needs to have.
Yeah, I can't believe that all video games don't do that.
Yeah, well, so this was Hyper Light Drifter. I think it's totally rad. Eric thinks it's pretty good.
I think it's totally rad. I think people should definitely check it out, man.
I would actually say it's much better than Totally Rad.
Okay.
Totally Rad's not very good. Totally Rad is the title is an oversell, I think.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
But there's this old dude that I run into every day when I walk into work, and when he lets his hair grow long, he looks like a 60-year-old version of the kid from Totally Rad. He gets kind of that football head shape thing going on.
Yeah. Nice.
I won't make fun of him. The dude is cut.
Oh, hey, Mike, I heard you're coming to my neck of the woods in the summer. Is that true?
I hope that's true. There's
You don't
some
know for sure.
There's some bureaucracy between here and there, but if all goes well, I will be. It's a real expensive trip, and my boss didn't realize how expensive it was, and when I submitted like a report of like, here's how much it's gonna cost, he went,
Why is it so expensive?
Because I'm going to, in theory, I'm going to the conference, the AAPM, the American Association of Physicists in Medicine, and it's like a 5-day conference, and just the fee for the conference is $1,400.
Holy shit.
And exchange rate, not so hot right now.
Hot for us.
Oh, come on.
It's
This
totally hot.
is one of those rooms,
Hot for
man.
us.
Just like me.
Yes. Oh, yeah, this is definitely one of those rooms. Holy
See what
fuck,
I mean?
Shotgun.
Yeah, I know. Like I almost did it. I was gonna say I did it, but I took my hand off the controller.
Given the aesthetic of this game, I half expected to slow down when this many things are on.
Start flickering like crazy. Well, there you go.
What would that be, Mike, if you do come?
July 31st to August 4th.
Okay. Cool.
And I will hopefully have a sweet hotel room in downtown DC.
Sweet.
Although I have to share it with one of my coworkers, but he likes video games, so maybe we can convince him to do some stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Cool.
Anyway,
well,
I'll let you know.
Yeah, we should sign off so you can get to bed and I can get ready for bed.
Yes.
And
All right, you kill those birds, Eric.
Trying.
All right, well then we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. We do this every Wednesday, same stick time, same stick channel, so make sure you tune in and check out all the other stuff we do at onthestick.com, and we will talk at you next week.
Can't kill this fucking bird. I did it. All right. Well, I guess I'll end the stream then. Good night, everybody.
Mike was hosting the call, apparently.
It just seems like every time anybody ends a Skype call, it fucking